In this video, Kevin and I are going to be talking about the movies and TV shows that we enjoyed during the month of August. Believe it or not, there really is not, I have a piece of paper here, there is not much on this piece of paper at all. And there's various reasons for that. One reason is because Malcolm had sent me a book and I really wanted to read this book, The Revenge. And I wanted to read that. So and you're reading a book. Mm-hmm. What are you reading? I put him on the spot.
It's the Wheel of Time books. I can't remember. Okay. We're on the second one, whichever one it is.
So a lot of times, you know, we go through periods of time where we'll watch TV until it's time for lights out. But then other times, if we're reading books and stuff, we'll take an hour or two usually 2 hours out of TV time. And we'll just go in and go back and sit in the bed and we'll read for a couple of hours. And it's actually I think it's a really good practice to do before bed, especially if you want to improve your sleep.
It makes me tired to read.
Yeah, it really does. It's so relaxing that if you're having trouble going to sleep, I would encourage you, just pick up a book and start it and read for a good hour and you'll just sleep like a baby. Mm-hmm. But what we have watched, we watched some movies. I think we watched more movies than TV shows just about. Downton Abbey, A New Era, and that is 2022. And it says the Crawley family goes on a grand journey to the south of France to uncover the mystery of the Dowager Countess's newly inherited villa. And so you are still seeing them at their home, but then they also are travel, and it has all the cast, mm-hmm. the characters that you love.
Yeah, I think everybody's in it that I can think of,
and that we love. And it was a good movie. I don't think it was as good as the first movie, no. but I do think it was a solid. A second movie for them.
It was. I mean, it was just like an extended episode.
Yes.
Is what it was, basically.
Yes, and if
it was take the whole season and compress it down to a 2-hour movie or hour and a half, whatever it was, or a really long, good episode. So, yeah.
And if you like them, you are going to love every second that they're on the screen. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it was good.
It's
one
of those easy watches.
Mm.
We also watched Minions: The Rise of Gru, 2022, the untold story of one 12-year-old's dream to become the world's greatest supervillain.
It was cute.
I like the Despicable Me, Minions movies. I like them. We laugh. Yeah. We think they're funny. This one was cute.
This one was cute. It's not the best one out of the bunch, but it was cute.
No, it's absolutely worth watching.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We also watched Elvis, 2022.
That's a good movie. I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
It's about the life of American music icon Elvis Presley from his childhood to becoming a rock and movie star in the 1950s while maintaining a complex relationship with his manager, Colonel Tom Parker. This movie, though, we have to tell you, or I want to warn you, if you've ever seen the movie about Elton John called Rocket Man, you go into this movie and it's filmed completely different than a lot of movies. It's bizarre. It's a different way of filming.
And sometimes it's really bizarre. Most of the time it's normal.
Right.
But there are times when it's like, where are they going with this?
This is bizarre.
Yeah.
But we loved it. We both loved Rocket Man. And like, I would sit down and watch Rocket Man or Elvis right now because I thought they were that good. Elvis was filmed in the same way. It's like, especially at the beginning.
The beginning was more so than the rest of it.
I agree. And like my sister absolutely hated it. But she said, I hated Rocket Man too. She didn't like it. She didn't even make it through Elvis, which I think it's kind of unfair to judge the whole movie when you haven't made it through it because it doesn't stay that way. No. It starts out with that odd filming style. Mm-hmm. But
especially when he's younger.
Yes, but then it drops it probably.
Yeah, when he's older and even in his mid-career and older, it doesn't do that. It's mostly when he was young.
Yes. But I tell you
something. It's still good. It was still excellent.
Something that...
I mean, you don't realize how much especially towards the end, what he went through with his manager.
No, you don't. I never knew that.
I didn't know the manager was that deceitful and underhanded,
No.
Yeah.
No, had no idea. I also had forgotten how many excellent songs Elvis had. I mean, one right after another, and you get to hear those, and you're like, oh, I love that song. And then they'll do another one, you're like, oh, but I love this song too. And oh, I love that. It's just constant. And, but I want to point out that I think it's so interesting, and it fascinates me. I told Kevin after the movie was over, they can take a woman, they can take any woman and make her look like another woman. Like, they've remade Marilyn Monroe and people like that, and they've really come close, Judy Garland and people like that. They've come close to really making these people look like those people, although they did a horrible job, I feel like, with Nicole Kidman doing Lucille Ball. That movie, I just hated it. I hated her playing Lucille Ball. I just did not like it at all. But anyway, besides her, they usually can take a woman and they can completely transform her. I have yet to see a man that they have been able to make me believe that is Elvis Presley. It's just that Elvis is one of those people. He has certain characteristics and looks about him to where I think they have a hard time recreating Elvis. And even these lookalikes that go on stage, and we saw one when we went on vacation in Hawaii.
He didn't look like Elvis either, really.
Not at all.
He had the hair and stuff like that.
From a distance, in the outfit, in the hair and all that, from a distance.
It was believable.
It was believable. You get up close, no way. So to see this guy, and he did a good job. He really did an excellent job. But I'm just saying, I've never seen anyone that, like, you would be like, oh, that's a dead ringer for Elvis. Just because, I don't know why they have such a hard time recreating men into people.
They did a good job on that Freddie Mercury, though.
That's, I think, the best one we've seen.
He's probably, I mean, he could have been his twin.
The guy that Bohemian Rhapsody, I think was the name. That was absolutely fantastic. Kevin and I really like movies like this. And then Lady Gaga had one. We love that. We really like the movies that are based on, that either have the actual person in them. Madonna did one way back years ago called Truth or Dare, and it was just them following her with the camera. I love stuff like that.
Katy Perry did one.
I love the recreations. Katy Perry's was really, really good too. So, I mean, there's just tons of them out there, but those are always fun to watch. Then we watched, oh my gosh, Top Gun.
She finally got to see it.
Top Gun Maverick. I'll read it to you. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. So, yeah, he stayed in the same place because he wants to keep doing what he's doing, and he knows if he advances, then he's not going to get to do that anymore. This was better, I think, than the original.
It was, the story was definitely better.
The whole thing was better. I loved that Val Kilmer was in it. Val Kilmer's in the movie.
Yep. And he's had a difficult time. So
he's had a very difficult time. That is an interesting, if you haven't watched his documentary, it's absolutely worth watching.
I have not watched it, but you told me about it, so I knew.
Yeah, and I would watch it again in a minute with Kevin because it's so interesting. But yeah, Tom Cruise, I'm not one of these crazy fans of Tom Cruise, but he did a great job in this movie. He really did. And he hung right in there with the young guys. Because it's all these young boys, especially, they're shirtless on the beach playing.
I couldn't tell him what difference from anybody else on the beach.
They're playing beach volleyball, and they've all got their shirts off. And he blended. He's probably close to 60. He has
looked like
to
the rest of them.
He looked just like the rest of them. His body. He's in great shape. So it was a really, really, and Jennifer Connelly's in it if you like her. She did a good job in it. Yeah, just really good movie.
The surprise one.
What?
That one.
Oh, this is the last movie we watched. It's called Luck, and it's 2022, and it's about this 18-year-old girl who it's an animated movie.
Yeah.
It's animated, and it's about this 18-year-old, and she has bad luck every single day. And it's like...
She's lived with bad luck her whole life.
Literally, one thing after another
Just her making breakfast was hilarious.
Yes, it's really comical. But she had... I don't know how much you tell. She has
She has something that changes her luck.
Yeah, she has something that changes her luck. Yeah, but you have to tell. Can you tell that there's an animal in it?
Yeah, there's a cat that's also a co-star.
yes, and it's a black cat, and it's kind of like Kiki's Delivery Service. Have you ever saw that kind of black cat? This cat's kind of I don't know. I like the cat. I like the cat a lot. And
I like the movie in general. It was one that we just went into it kind of like we don't know what it is. We'll just watch it, and it's like I think both of us. I laughed out loud a couple times. I thought it was hilarious.
I already told Ashley. I said you have to watch this. I told Christina. I said you have to watch this. The kids have to watch this. I said because you'll all like it. You will all like it. It's very, very cute. Absolutely a family movie. But yeah, it's called Luck. And you need to get your phone. Okay. Then we finished 2 shows. We finished Designing Women.
Thank God.
I hate to say it because I really, really enjoyed it for like the first 4 seasons. When Delta Burke was on there.
5.
Was she in?
6 and 7 were the worst seasons.
Yeah, horrible. Well, 6 was the worst. 6. 7 was better.
Slightly better, but the stories never got any better.
7 was better than 6.
At least you didn't have that one annoying girl that was out to get them the entire time.
Yeah, she was awful.
6. 7, they actually had a friendship there, and they were just have fun and talk.
So that made it better.
That made it better, but the stories still weren't any good. So they should have stopped at 5.
They should. I truly had hoped that, like I said it before in one of our wrap-up videos, that I had hoped that like Delta Burke would come back for the very end. Of course, they don't, and but we finished that.
Even the other girl,
Charlene
never came back.
No, she never came back. We finished.
It was good up until those last 2 seasons, though. I enjoyed it up until then.
Yeah. We watched the last season of Better Call Saul. We finished that.
It ended good. I think they wrapped it up well. I mean, it ended the way I expected it to end.
Do you think that it ended fairly for both parties, Kim and you do?
I think it ended appropriately.
Fairly? Okay.
I mean, you could say that all that. Of course, you already know this. He doesn't have any money or anything anyway. So you already know that if you watch any of the Better Call Sauls. All that stuff he did in Breaking Bad ultimately didn't mean anything.
No.
He didn't end up with anything. No money, and he's on the run. You know, you know that.
You know all that.
I'm not
giving any of that away. No.
But ultimately, you just think about it. You know, all that stuff he did during Breaking Bad
was for nothing.
Was ultimately for nothing.
I truly would like to work my way through Breaking Bad again.
I would too. I would enjoy watching that again a second time because I'm sure there's so many things that I missed or lost track of or forgot.
It was absolutely awesome to see some returning characters in Better Call Saul.
Especially the last few episodes.
I don't want to give anything away if you haven't watched it. But you're going to see some people and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, because I was just thrilled to death and so was Kevin.
I think in the last 2 episodes.
Just look for that. If you haven't watched it, that was good. We also watched the whole next season. What is it? Was it season 3?
2.
Just 2 of The Witcher.
Finished that.
And I really enjoyed The Witcher.
Yeah, you thought the first season was hard to get into, but then once we got going, you were fine with it.
Well,
it was confusing. The first
season was confusing
because they jumped.
They time traveled.
Yeah,
they would jump from back and forth from here to there.
Yeah,
and
there was none of that this time. Or if they did, you knew it.
And there's a new character this season. and I really like her, and she's on a learning a journey to learn new things, and so that was exciting to see all that, and it was just a really good season.
Yeah, I thought it was good. If you've read the books, just the books, the show doesn't quite follow it. I mean, it's similar, but it's not. You know, it's kind of one of those things. They took liberties. The video games, I haven't played The Witcher 3 enough to know all the story, but I know there's pieces of The Witcher 3 in this. So, I mean, the Wild Hunt, all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, it was really good. They did a good job of it.
Then we watched The Old Man 2022. A former CIA officer who's living off the grid finds himself on the run from people who want to kill him. That stars Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges is the main guy, and John Lithgow is in there as well.
He's a main guy too.
He's a main guy too. They're both main people. But the main focus is on Jeff Bridges.
It is, but yeah, you see them both probably equally though.
And that
it was a good show. I enjoyed the story. It was a little confusing at first. It's like, where's this going? You know, is it going to be one of these tough guy shows? Is it going to be one of these vendetta shows? You don't know where it's going to go.
And there's not a lot of episodes.
No, and it ended kind of on a cliffhanger. Kinda.
It ended on a cliffhanger,
which is unfortunate.
Yes.
I hate it when I would rather them wrap up something, but they kind of did. But then they wrapped up one thing and then they opened up another door.
Yeah, they opened up a door and then they're black. It went black like The Sopranos, just black, and it's like, oh my gosh! And so I'm looking.
They look at it like, is that the end?
I'm like, where's the next episode? And Kevin looked it up. And he said, that's all that's out. And it's like, oh my gosh!
But it hasn't been renewed for a second season.
Yeah, it's been renewed, but I mean, really? I'm going to save that one for last. We are watching MasterChef. There's not much to say there.
Yeah, still enjoying it though.
Yeah, still enjoying that.
I think you're at 9 now, 9 or 8.
We have just started watching King of Queens. So because we got rid of Designing Women, we wanted to pick up another half hour, like 20, 30-minute show. So like if we don't have a lot of time, if we just have time to sit down and watch something short, we can watch this. We never saw King of Queens from the beginning.
No, we just saw pieces here and there.
Yeah, and we came in like from the middle and we would grab an episode and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best show. We need to watch this from the beginning. So that's what we're doing. We're watching it from the very beginning. And
I've watched one so far.
Yeah, we've only watched one, but I like the characters anyway. I really do. They're all hilarious. And then we have started watching This Is Us. Oh,
I'm thinking it's on NBC or was on NBC.
Listen, it is. I never knew what I was missing.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I never knew what I was missing. I had never planned to watch it. I was ticked when it started up. I'm just gonna say I held a grudge. I had watched Parenthood for years. Parenthood was the show that came on. Parenthood went off, and they were doing ads for This Is Us during that whole time that we knew it was the ending of Parenthood. And I was mad. I was bitter because I thought, This Is Us, they're just wanting to bring in a new show and they're getting rid of my show and they're bringing in this new show and I'm never going to watch that show. Well, never say never, because years later we're watching it and it's just fantastic.
It's a good show.
It is fantastic. And
I mean, it's not like exciting, and it's a typical drama. Though,
it's a wonderful story.
It's and the way they weave things together is really good.
And yeah, you just you get involved in these people's lives, and I absolutely love it. Would you say Mandy Moore is the main star? There's so many main people.
They're all mains. Truthfully, they're all like leading roles.
Mandy Moore's cute. I never realized how cute she is. I mean, I've never like listened to her or anything like that. And I didn't know anything about her, but on this show, she's really cute. But I mean, there was a lot of really solid characters in this. But if you get the opportunity to start watching it, then I highly recommend it.
And the first 2 episodes, they didn't do it much after that, but the first 2 episodes, they both ended with kind of a I never would have known.
You're like,
shock.
wow.
You know?
Yeah, there was a shock factor at the end of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
You're like,
and after that they quit doing that. But
yeah.
Because you can't keep that up.
No, Kevin was like, how are they going to keep this up the whole time? Well, they don't. So there's no shock factor.
So I'm glad, actually.
But it's one of those where, like, I can't wait to sit down. Kind of like if you ever watch Desperate Housewives or any of those. You can't wait till the next episode to find out where you're going to be taken next. It's one of those really good shows. So we still have shows that we haven't started. So for instance, there's a new episode of C that just started. We have not started it. Obi-Wan, we still haven't watched Obi-Wan on Disney Plus.
No, we want to.
We still haven't watched, believe it or not, The Umbrella Academy. Still haven't watched that.
I have a show called Foundation that I would like for us to watch.
Me too? You want me to watch it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a science fiction show.
Okay.
I think you would enjoy it.
Right. So, but you have to. We're still watching The Love Boat. So like we're
we watch those when we can fit them in.
Yeah. When like an episode of MasterChef isn't on, then I'll watch. Okay, I have an hour. I'll watch an episode of The Love Boat.
I know one we're watching you didn't mention.
What?
The American Horror Stories.
Oh.
You forgot about that.
Okay. American Horror Stories. The last time I updated you, I said the first 2 episodes were not gory. They were not graphic.
Yeah, they were pretty decent.
They remind me a lot of Black Mirror. As soon as I said that, you knew that the very next episode was going to be like hack and slash. And it was. So I don't watch any of that. I have to turn my head. But the last episode we watched was very much back to a Black Mirror type of show. Yeah. It was like very social and very Black Mirror-esque show. And I like it when they do them like that.
I do too.
Because I like Black Mirror.
I think the stories are okay. I don't think they're awesome.
They're not as good as Black Mirror, trust me. I want my Black Mirror to come back. I want more of those.
They're not that good, but they're okay. The stories they tell are fine. I still think they're blowing a chance to give backstories for some of this stuff. They can make instead of individual stories, they can make the whole season a backstory on what happened or how did this character get here. You know.
Yeah,
and they did it. The first episode was that.
The very first episode. The rest of the episodes have absolutely nothing to do with American Horror Story whatsoever.
No, the first one did.
They might have had some of the same people. I'm thinking we've seen some familiar faces.
But no, they didn't directly relate.
They have absolutely nothing to do.
Not that I could do.
No, with American Horror Story whatsoever. But some of them are going to be more graphic than others. That's just, I had hoped for a whole season of none of the gore. Of course, I didn't get that. No. But
Lord of the Rings, that starts up soon. We want to watch that, the new Lord of the Rings. House of the Dragon, we're going to start that whenever it gets more into it, probably.
Yeah, we haven't started that yet.
You've been watching that.
I'm still watching Trying. So as of our last video, as of July, Kevin pretty much said, I don't want to watch it anymore. I'm still watching it. I still really like it. I love all the characters. I think it's a wonderful show. It's an easy watch. It makes me happy to watch it, so I enjoy it. I also watch, that I never even mention, I watch Family Feud. I watch The Pyramid. I love The Pyramid. Love The Pyramid. I feel so sorry for these people when this is their big opportunity and they've waited all this time to come on The Pyramid, and then they get stuck with one of these celebrities.
The dead celebrity that doesn't have a clue.
They're terrible. And it's
at least they do switch places, so they do have some opportunity to get something.
I hate that for them, though.
Yeah.
I really hate that.
You said sometimes it's like that. It was not their fault. It was 100% the celebrity's
The celebrity's fault. And it's like, this is their big opportunity. And you know they've been practicing at home and telling their family they're going to be on this show and everything. And then to go on there with this celebrity, and you can't look at the celebrity and just say, you suck. You should not be on the show because you are just terrible. But I love Michael Strahan. I think he's great. He's, says all kinds of things off the cuff, and I really like him a lot. And they've had some good celebrities on there. But they've had some stinkers too. So
a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Something else coming up is The Handmaid's Tale. Season 5.
When does that start?
September 14th.
Wow.
Yeah, very soon.
You know, that is a tense show.
Yeah, we're always.
Yes, I realize at the end of the episodes that, boy, I've been sitting there clenched the whole time I'm watching that.
Yeah, because you're expecting explosions at any moment.
Yes, I just hate it. Yeah.
Survivor comes back on the 21st of September. The
Exciting.
Connors comes on. The Amazing Race comes on September 21st.
The Amazing Race, the best. I wonder if that show's going to come on anymore that we watched from the UK.
Race Across the World or something like that.
It was gripping. It is so wonderful.
Well, it's not staged or planned at all.
No, I love it. I never thought I would like one more than The Amazing Race. I really think I like the Race Across the World. That's what
something like that.
I think I like that more than The Amazing Race because it's literally, here you go.
You do have checkpoints along the way, but that's it.
No, it's not like The Amazing Race, which I dearly love though.
Young Sheldon comes on the 29th of September.
And
The White Lotus, that's coming back. Okay. The second season of The White Lotus comes on in October.
Yes, but I'm so excited. When I first watched The White Lotus, I thought, this is so bizarre that I liked it, but I didn't like it. It was one of those kinds of shows.
Then she got me to watch.
And then I watched it with Kevin, and once I watched it the second time, I'm like, I'm just obsessed with this show now. I mean, and again, this is one that I could sit down right now and watch from start to finish, because there's not that many episodes anyway. And now they're going to do another season.
There's only six episodes.
And what's that woman's name?
She's the only one returning, the blonde woman. I can't think what her name is.
Yes, I love her. Jennifer Coolidge. Is that her name?
I have no clue.
Anyway, love her.
No,
don't know if that's her name, but I love her. I think she's awesome. She and the guy that she got with in The White Lotus are the only returning characters to this next season.
They're somewhere else.
They're somewhere else. So they're going to go to a new location.
I can't remember where it's at.
Vacation spot.
It seems like it begins with an S, but I can't remember.
It wasn't like Spain or something?
No, it wasn't. It was like, I don't remember. I don't want to say because I just don't know. The only other two things that we have is the American Horror Story.
That probably doesn't start till October. Halloween.
And then Yellowstone's in November. That's what I have on my list.
In November. I'm looking forward to Yellowstone, even though I like 1883 better.
Yeah.
I still wonder when that'll come.
It's not as underhanded and cutthroat as Yellowstone is.
No, I don't think so.
It's more real. Real struggles and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you care, Rick and Morty's going on in September 4th. If you care about Rick and Morty.
I've never watched that in my life. And that's animated, right?
Yeah, I didn't watch the last season. I watched them all the way up to the last season. I just never did watch last season, which I could. I think there was only like 4 or 5 episodes. There wasn't very many.
Right. Yeah. Well, that is what we've been watching and what we're gonna watch. And so you all, as always, please give recommendations below.
Yes, some of these shows came from recommendations.
I love them. I really do. I genuinely look forward to seeing what you all have watched or what you recommend. And even if I don't get around to watching them right then, I put them in on a list for later. And sometimes I try to watch them and I don't get into them, and that's okay. I still appreciate it. But like I tell you all every month, other people it's not just me and Kevin reading your recommendations. Other people that are watching this video are looking at the things that you recommend, and it might be something that they start watching because you recommended it. So I really I love that part of these videos. Love to read how you all respond. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And we will see you at the end of September with some
of these other shows start.
Yeah, exactly.